hold me to this. I'm going to do a video, and it's just going to be me standing, looking at a cinema screen, and being like, "I have been changed for good." Welcome to No Bad Seats, the Regent Cinemas podcast with myself, Luke, and
Sam from Bratface.
That's right, and we are here having watched 2 movies this week. How exciting is that?
Very exciting.
Very exciting. We watched Jay Kelly and we watched Wicked for Good, so we're going to talk about those, but first I want to kick it off with a little bit of industry news.
I love this part.
One thing that I'm excited about, Moana live action teaser dropped this week. Did you see it?
I did.
Now, somebody commented on our page saying there's so much CGI in this trailer, you may as well watch the animated.
The comments I saw were not great either.
You know what's really interesting? I have seen such a mixed bag. I've seen like a big chunk of like overly positive, and then I've seen like some real, like it's you either like Disney live action or you hate it. And it's going to make $1 billion regardless, so I don't know why we're arguing.
Yeah, well, yeah, it is true. It's going to make a lot of money. I noticed a couple of the trailers, or one of the ones I watched, and then I saw Disney's one. I can't remember if Disney's had, but the one I saw it on YouTube, comments were disabled, which tells you comments were negative.
Not great.
Because I had seen a few comments that were like,
Why?
Who asked for this? Why?
I hate who asked for this, because who asked for anything?
Well,
nobody
true.
asks for anything, and then things get made, and then you go, man, that was awesome. There is a guy I know who says, who asked for this so often, and every time I hear it now, I think of him, and it makes me hate things.
It does seem like an interesting choice. I get for the Disney remakes and the Disney like live action remakes, I have understood and been excited for some because I'm like, oh, this is an old tale that we've known and grown up with. Like, I'm keen to see this sort of brought to life. Moana came out like, what, 5-6 years ago?
Moana came out 8 years ago.
Okay.
Here is the thing. Here is where I'm going to argue with you.
Okay.
Moana live action is coming out at the perfect time, because in this current state of the world, the economy, there is like one group that has disposable income rather. That group is like 18 to 25-year-olds. And when 18 to 25-year-olds were like 8 to 15, what movie was coming out that they were all seeing?
Fair.
What movie has then gone on to be the #1 streaming movie on Disney Plus?
Yeah.
That they've watched a bunch of times over and over again. And now they've all got money and they want to come and see a movie that they grew up with.
This is true, yeah. I get that,
It's perfectly timed for the perfect market. Like, yes, we can all say, oh, Lilo and Stitch, we grew up with that. Oh, Beauty and the Beast, yeah, that's one we grew up with. There are people, because we didn't grow up with it, doesn't mean anything.
No.
There are people who are now in their early 20s who grew up with Moana.
Yeah.
And will be more excited about Moana live action than any film next year. They will be more excited about it than Toy Story 5. Because they don't care about Toy Story the way we care about Toy Story. Because we grew up with Toy Story, and I'm sure that they did in an element, but when it's Toy Story 3 that you're starting with, it's not the same thing. Whereas Moana is their thing.
Yeah, I can see that.
Now, I will also point out one other thing that I really, really want to emphasize, and our Moana is Australian. Live action Moana, she's an Aussie.
Didn't realise.
So, big support from me in that sense. Yeah.
I don't have an issue with it, essentially. Like, I kind of have that bit of a like, why? But at the same time, whatever. I haven't been the biggest fan of Moana in general, mainly because I didn't grow up with it. My kids never really took to it, so it wasn't like big on our radar.
There is like one of those, if your kids don't take to it and you missed it when you were growing up, like there is a chunk of time where I've not seen, like I haven't seen either of the Frozen films, missed that whole thing, and there's a big chunk in the middle that I haven't seen. And my son is now catching up with a few of them, and he's not gotten around to Frozen, but I've caught Encanto, I've caught Coco, I've caught all of these like films that sort of came out in this, me being a 20-year-old and not caring about the new Disney film, and then me being a 30-year-old and suddenly my children does.
Yeah.
In that period, there was like a bunch of these movies that everyone's like, how have you not seen it? And Moana was one of those, but then my son discovered one of the songs on YouTube, got really into it, and then wanted to watch the movie. And then watched it a bunch, and his first in-cinema experience was Moana 2. So that's really exciting for us, because when I got up yesterday and saw the trailer popped up, the first thing I did was go, hey, come here. And we watched it, and he was so excited. He's like, that's Maui, it's Moana. Like, he knew straight away. So that is really cool to see. But again, if you don't have that, what I will say is, all right, you're doing Moana, you're going to hit another $1 billion. Disney, you've got the money. Make Aladdin 2, you cowards. Make Aladdin 2. You announced it. Make it happen. Poor Mina Massoud has done nothing since Aladdin, and I feel bad for him because Aladdin rules, and despite the mixed critics review, shut up critics, Aladdin rules. I love Aladdin. It's the best live action, straight up saying it. It's the best Disney live action. I love it so much. Come on.
I don't know.
Guy Ritchie.
I mean, Guy Ritchie.
Guy Ritchie.
It wasn't Guy Ritchie doing Guy Ritchie.
Yeah, but it was Guy Ritchie doing Aladdin.
Yeah.
Two things I already love.
It didn't have much of Guy Ritchie in it, though, in his styling in it.
Yeah, but you know what? I'll tell you why Aladdin rules. I'll tell you why Aladdin rules very much so. It's because when it cleared $1 billion, that $1 billion converted into a Guy Ritchie blank check, allowing us to get a bunch of Guy Ritchie films. So one, thank you, Aladdin. Two, Aladdin rules. I love Aladdin. Yes, I'm very pro Aladdin, in case you haven't realized it from this conversation.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's where we're at with that one. Make Aladdin 2, you announced it. Naomi Scott is amazing.
She is, yes.
And yeah, again, Mina Massoud. And you know what? Even Will Smith. I don't care. I'll smack Will Smith to get another genie.
The thing I find with the Moana universe,
they call it the Moanaverse.
The Moanaverse, cool.
Nobody calls it that.
No.
It's the Mauiverse.
I found it weird that they did Moana 2, and also they were doing the live action. I think that was also where there was this slight confusion around it all of like, we're still continuing the
Yeah, I mean, we're still getting Moana 3. It's all on the way.
Yeah, but we're going to throw in and just redo the story that we did a couple of years back.
It's Rogue One.
Well, yeah.
It's Rogue One. You got Moana 2, and then we're getting Moana.
Is the Moana live action the same story?
It's the same story. It's just the live action version.
Yeah, okay. But it's Disney, so they'll just inevitably throw in a terrible curveball somewhere. Well, like they have in every single
Rock isn't
live action.
Isn't like a cinder block. He doesn't look like.
He has a suit on. There was set photos of him with a bigger suit on to make him weirdly
He did
sized.
not look bigger in the teaser at all.
It's only him diving off the cliff.
Yeah, but he did not look bigger at all.
I'm sure I remember seeing set photos.
I would be on board with a square rock, but
he wasn't that big. But I remember seeing it because it had all the tattoos.
But
and stuff,
if I can accept Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin, not looking like the Kingpin from the thing where it's like a giant ball with a head in the center, I can accept Maui being slightly different. I do hope we get Jermaine Clement back as Tamatoa, the crab, because Flight of the Conchords also rules, and Jermaine Clement is amazing. And that is such a Flight of the Conchords song. You know what I'm talking about? Shiny?
I don't know if I do now.
Yeah, so there is a scene in Moana where they go to find where Maui's hook has been kept, and there is a giant crab, and he's voiced by Jermaine Clement of Flight of the Conchords fame. And I know Lin-Manuel Miranda has said he wrote it as a Flight of the Conchords song and then managed to get Jermaine involved. So that's really cool. But it very much feels like that. Like it sounds straight out of that.
Yeah.
And it's one of the funnest songs in the show. Basically, this crab goes on about how he's giant and he's covered in shiny stuff that he's picked off out of all this treasure and, all of that. And he's like stuck it on himself and he's obsessed with being shiny because it's so much like making himself shiny is better than being just a regular crab. And that's like the whole thing. And it's brilliant. It's a brilliant sequence. So I hope he comes back. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Fair enough. What is your overall sort of consensus on the Disney remakes, the live action remakes?
Look, I'm generally for them. I haven't seen them all.
I'm not against them by any means. I'm against them being bad.
Yeah,
and there
but
has
I
been
just
a few
think,
bad
like,
ones.
I didn't hate Snow White. I thought Snow White was
still
fine.
haven't
I
seen
didn't
Snow White.
remember the story really. And then I was like, is that how it played out in the thing? But, you know, I thought it was fine. I think Snow White had a lot of external elements going against it, Rachel Zegler being one of them, unfortunately. But I just don't think it was, like, and like, you know, the world turning on Gal Gadot over...
Kal-El, no.
No, not even that. It's just... There's a lot going on in the world that we won't have to address here, but being Gal Gadot right now is probably not ideal.
No.
But then there's been this like this revisionist history on her then when then you're looking at moments for like Kal-El No where people are going, that's the worst delivery of all time. And like 3 years ago, literally nobody cared about it. It wasn't like a thing. But then everyone decided, no, we hate her now. And then because of that, it's
I saw someone trash on the first Wonder Woman the other day, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah, exactly.
She is not a brilliant actress by any means, but...
Wonder Woman is the role for her, though.
Wonder Woman was great. The first one, absolutely great. Can't knock it.
I would argue there is a lot of probably American racism in regards to the accent. That the accent works very well for Wonder Woman because she's supposed to be otherworldly and different by the nature of it. But you then get into any other role and it's like, I don't know what she's saying. This is bad acting. And it's like, no, she's acting with an accent.
Yeah.
She's just not doing an American accent. She's just... And look, how many... actors, actresses from other countries, particularly from countries...
I mean, you've got even Chris Hemsworth doing his weird Australian, English, American accent that is nothing but...
Like, I say good on Gal Gadot for, like, sticking with that and not trying to do an American thing.
Yeah.
But leaning into Snow White, like, that was an element. I think Rachel Zegler being... like the negatives around her, the negatives around Gal Gadot, like Snow White was always going to fail, but I don't think it had much to do with the movie.
Yeah. It's a weird time. This is a slight another tangent, but it is a weird time for actors and casting in movies at the moment. If you cast the wrong person, you'll this has always happened, but it's on a whole nother scale now with the cancel culture and everything.
I mean, Jared Leto, a perfect example, cast in Tron, Ares in 2017. It took him 8 years to get the film out, and the world turned on Jared Leto. 2017 Jared Leto was fairly well liked.
Yeah. Exactly. In 2017, he was
now it's like
a box office draw.
The most negative thing is Jared Leto existing. It's so easy for something to happen, and then, despite the fact that there is an element of cancel culture that's sort of been like moved on from, and like anti-cancel culture has sort of like balanced that, I still think it's still way quicker.
Oh yeah.
And for what it takes to film a movie, I mean, let's talk West Side Story, same sort of thing. Ansel, is that his name? Ansel Elgort?
Yeah.
Comes off Baby Driver and is real popular, goes into West Side Story. Stuff comes out about him. He's not on the press tour. Rachel Zegler's going, he's the worst person I've ever met. And throwing him under the bus. And then Rachel Zegler becomes the person later on. After
it's a weird, like I said, it's a weird landscape.
Super weird.
And I think there is a certain point where obviously people that have done horrible things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no, that's fair. You've got the likes of Kevin Spacey and things like that. Like, fair enough.
While we're talking Baby Driver.
Let's cancel. But there's some of these ones where it's like, oh, they have a different political view. And I'm like, I don't care. I do not care if that person's a Scientologist or if they're a this or a that. I'm like, come on. Yeah, I'm here to watch a movie.
Externally of all that. But then I think there is this weird blend where it's like, Are you doing it to yourself, Hollywood? Because now you're casting people based on how many Instagram followers they have, and then the more Instagram followers, the more likely it is that something comes out about them that
we
slips
could
up.
probably
We're all
start-
humans.
Yeah, we could probably start a conspiracy here that Hollywood itself is trying to trash everyone so that they can bring in AI actresses and actors.
Oh man, I would say let's start a conspiracy, but I don't think that that's necessarily far from the truth.
Well, yeah, exactly.
So let's just leave that one at bay. Moving on to the next piece of news, actual factual news rather than conspiracy theories.
Hey, it's the Conspiracy Theory No Bad Seats podcast.
This is one that I've wanted to talk to you about.
Okay.
Warner Brothers.
Yes.
Warner Brothers. So as we know, Warner Brothers, and this has been a three-year thing. Warner Brothers is potentially being bought out. Now I think.
Well, I think they've listed for sale.
They have listed for sale, but I mean,
which is
they don't get an
surprising to
offer.
me in the first case.
Well, I'll tell you what. It's interesting because I know a lot of Hollywood insiders when Warner Discovery merged were like, this within 4 years will sell to Universal. And I remember going, really? They've just sort of, it's just fresh. Yeah. It's a new thing. AT&T, Discovery.
I think also you look at Warner Brothers and you go, these are the heavy hitters.
Yeah,
these guys should have enough money. We're popping out billion-dollar movies a couple times a year. We should have enough money.
If you told me 4 years ago that Paramount was opting to buy Warner Brothers,
I would call you crazy.
Yeah, it's insane. It's insane. So where we're at, Warner Brothers in 2020 sold from AT&T, became Warner Brothers Discovery. Mm-hmm. That had only lasted 4 years. AT&T bought Warner Brothers. It's now Warner Brothers Discovery. David Zaslav was brought in, did the old tax write-offs and bought the line down, balanced all that, whatever it is, so that he could apparently sell. That was apparently the deal. Years ago,
I remember hearing
discussion
with it was actually an interview with Francis Ford Coppola, and he said about the studios, and he said they are all just paying debts. That's all they are, is they're all paying debt. So then, obviously, like I was saying, we all go, oh, they're the heavy hitters. They should have all this money. They got no money.
They got nothing.
Essentially.
Yeah.
They're just all debt collectors and not loan sharks, but they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all they are, really.
Exactly.
Which is unfortunate because they keep getting bought out and changed, and then it just meddles with.
So Skydance bought Paramount, the Ellisons, David Ellison. Skydance bought Paramount. They've just taken it over. They have put 3 bids forward for Warner Brothers that have all been rejected. What's interesting is that Warner Brothers was trading at like $11 a share, and they rejected $24 a share from Paramount.
Yeah, wow.
Which is a pretty big jump.
You've been doing a deep dive on this, haven't you?
I was actually listening to a podcast about it this morning, so it's just, on the way here. Didn't finish it though, so that's about all the information I have. However, it was from a couple of weeks ago, to be fair, and I know things have changed since then. So Paramount have put things forward now. Apparently, they're expecting Warner Brothers will be sold at about $60 billion. That's crazy. That's the price.
Yep.
A lot of IP, a lot of things you could do with it. Saudi Arabia, a Saudi Arabian prince or
Sheikh?
Sheikh, yep, the Sheikh, yep.
Yes.
So he's been sort of involved in Hollywood for the last couple of years because he's working on a project with the UFC and Zack Snyder. I think it's called Fighter, and it's a UFC movie, which is, Brawler, I think that's what it's called, Brawler.
Oh, okay.
And that's cool that they're talking about that, but now he's stepped in and been like, how about $70 billion?
Yeah, the real heavy hitters have turned up to
That sort of came forward and said that, and now rumors are that Paramount sort of offered to buy in with them and maybe take a percentage and take a bit of that themselves. Those rumors were then denied by Paramount, who said, negotiations are confidential, so we will keep confidential. That was their denial. Guys, come on.
We're not saying no, but...
We're not saying no, we're saying it's confidential, but that's a denial. Like, come on. If you say it's confidential, you're saying yes. That's yes. So, Saudi Arabian Sheikh. Paramount, Captain
And-
Planet this thing,
Yeah.
and then by your powers
rings-
combined, you own Warner Brothers.
Yeah. And the interesting thing, I think, for both of us that's been very exciting is obviously the Sheik is working with Zack Snyder currently.
Yeah.
And apparently a huge fan of Zack Snyder, the Snyderverse.
Snyderverse films, yeah.
Everything like that. And there has been a lot of speculation that if they do buy into Warner Brothers, that potentially James Gunn is going to be out and Zack Snyder's going to get brought in. It's going to, if this does happen,
Yeah.
it's messy.
It's
gonna be
messy regardless, and I honestly
Well,
don't
it
think.
already is
Look,
messy.
in my head, the situation, the best case scenario, and I've said this from the start. DC, you've split the fan base with a bunch of people who like the Snyderverse, a bunch of people who hate the Snyderverse and love James Gunn, a bunch of people who don't care about either of them but like DC, and truthfully, it's hard to fix that divide. But one thing that they could have done was just finish Snyder's story. The reason that Snyderverse fans are pissed off and the reason that they don't want to invest in a new story is because the last time they invested in a story, they weren't given the...
We got cut short.
Yeah, exactly. We weren't given the full story. Whether or not I think that's going to happen, I think even if the Saudi Arabian Sheikh buys Warner Brothers, personally, I didn't love what James Gunn has done so far. I think it's been too much James Gunn, and I don't think the CEO of the company starting his universe with 3 projects by himself is the best way to launch a universe, particularly because I don't necessarily like his voice for these characters. So I'm waiting till I see Lanterns and Clayface and Supergirl and sort of can establish that more. I don't hate him in charge. I just don't want to keep seeing him.
Yeah.
I want to see other people's visions, which was the whole thing. Personally, I don't think that they should bring back the Snyderverse as a replacement. I think you finish Justice League 1, 2, and 3. You finish that story. You satisfy people with an ending. That's all they damn well want. Just let them end it, and then that way, like for me, I know I will feel much, much less negative towards anything else that's going on if the story that I was invested in gets complete. And then I'm like, okay, well, from here, cool, I can invest in something else. Because the story was told. Now, I don't think that's going to happen. I still don't think it's going to happen. Even if there are a lot of elements that could be told in comic book form, it could be told in an animated form, and I'd be happy with that. But whether or not it happens, I don't think it will.
I think one way that, again, it's going to be messy regardless, which I think my father told me a great thing when I was young. Are we swearing on this podcast? Maybe I won't. Anyhow, if you F it, feature it. So if you stuff something up, feature it, use it. Don't try to hide it. Don't try to redo things. Feature it. And that is something that my father taught me young, and it's from a sort of building perspective of like, well, you've F'd this up.
Nothing else you can do.
Nothing else you can do, so make it a feature now.
Yep.
And I think Warner Brothers should do that. I think instead of trying to follow Marvel and still trying to build a universe the old school way of like, hey, we're going to set up these movies and we're going to get to a team up.
Yeah.
Screw it.
Yeah.
Just go with, hey, we have a bunch of different universe movies happening, like our animated, like our comics. How many runs of comics run at the same time? Like,
exactly.
It's not, if we're going real comic book
General
style,
audience will pick it up. General audience was confused with Superman why it wasn't Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
Because that's who they've known for the last 12 years. So, yeah, there's definitely an element of that. I just think, like, if there was an opportunity for them to come back, I don't think that they should necessarily get rid of James Gunn.
No, and that's what I'm saying. Like, keep let them both go.
Yeah, absolutely. Matt Reeves is still there.
Cut everyone's budget in half. Stop making $400 million movies.
Yep.
And say,
especially when they look so crap.
Yeah, well, yeah. This is how much you've got.
Yep.
Go make your Superman movie. James Gunn.
Make it good.
Zack Snyder, you got the same amount. Go make your Superman movie. We've got 2 different Supermans. You can show up to see the James Gunn one. I can show up to see the Zack Snyder one. Like,
if we can have Michael
to see
Keaton,
both.
Ben Affleck, and Robert Pattinson as Batman all coming out within a year of each other, we can We can do that.
Exactly right.
3 Batmen.
It's messy enough as it is. Let's just lean into the messy and
Yeah,
give us more.
and that's exactly right. I think that was their big thing. Warner Brothers, like, they stuffed DC up, and they put the blame on Zack Snyder. But in reality, it's like you can't like have an artist working, and he's painting and he's doing his thing, and then you come in with a bucket and you throw the bucket on it and say, that's what I want it to be because that's what this artist is doing. And then walk out and then be like, everybody hates this. And then it's like, well, I don't know what he was trying to give us, man. Like, what's this art? What the hell? And it's like, that's not what you hired him for. Let's just hire directors to do their job. And I take a real issue with James Gunn being the only voice in the universe, but I don't hate the idea of him being a creative lead, an overseer. Just stop being the only person involved, James Gunn, because your voice is lame. I'm sorry. It's just, it's the same thing every movie. Every movie is just a cut and copy, and he's so one-dimensional. I just can't.
It does start to feel a little bit like Joss Whedon 2.0.
Yeah, and we know how that turned out, Joss Whedon.
Which is one of the issues that they had bringing him on for Justice League.
Exactly.
It was like, hey, we're just going to copy and paste the same jokes I've been telling for 20 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Look, man falls down on woman, ha ha, funny.
Yep. It's like, no, that joke wasn't even great when it first came out, but in this climate it doesn't work. So that's where we're at. But interesting whether the purchase goes ahead. That will be one element that plays into it. I mean, Paramount having control of Warner Brothers leads to some interesting. I mean, first thing I think is Batman vs. Ninja Turtles. It's already an animated thing.
Yes, let's do it.
Pattinson versus Ninja Turtles live action.
That's where we get.
No, hold on.
The crossover.
I've got it. Alan Richardson Batman.
Okay.
With the Ninja Turtles from the live action where Alan Richardson voiced Raph. And he does both roles, and we're here for it. And somebody mentions
He didn't
why
do
this-
it in the second one, though, did he? Is he the voice in the second one?
Yeah.
He is.
So
That's a whole nother ballgame to get into with the whole thing of like the actors they hired for Ninja Turtles. Do you remember that? They hired actors to do Ninja Turtles, and they dressed up not in suits, but they had mocap shells on and everything. Known actors that people would recognize, and then they went, nah, let's just recast them all for the voices, and didn't really give us anyone spectacular in terms of voice actors.
yeah, it was very strange.
It wasn't like, I mean,
Money's
Johnny
over.
Knoxville was the name of like, hey, we've got Johnny Knoxville. But even still, Johnny Knoxville's not
He's
a
Johnny Knoxville.
big
It's
draw.
like-
Like, in
It's like,
terms
you don't
of,
think movie star Johnny Knoxville.
whereas I remember the guy they had for I can't remember now. It might have been Mikey or something like that. I was like, this dude's gonna be perfect. And then they're like, oh no, we scrapped. We got a different voice.
Yeah,
And I was
right.
like, why?
You have to look up who
I think
he
it was
doing.
Mikey. Maybe I'm thinking of Leo. I don't know. Anyhow,
Anyway, there
it
you
was
go.
a weird thing to do.
Very strange.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into the movies.
Okay.
We've got 2 movies to talk
do it.
about today.
What one do we want to go for first?
Let's start with last night we attended the premiere of Wicked for Good. Now, we've discussed Wicked on this podcast. Sam's wife made sure that he was up to date.
Yep.
He didn't fall asleep this time. Let's do a brief discussion on Wicked Part 1, how you felt on that, and then how you felt going into this.
Yeah, so we watched Wicked Part 1 again. What night was that? No, it wasn't Tuesday.
Doesn't matter
night.
on the
Anyhow,
podcast because people could be listening.
one of the days.
Yeah.
But recently, just before seeing For Good, and I enjoyed it.
Is that all you got to say?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Cool.
I got a lot of
Professional podcast host.
hate. Yeah, I got a lot of hate last time. Not from anyone, from my wife mainly.
Yeah.
About the fact that I
what
wasn't
kind of hate
very
to get?
open to it when we started watching
Yeah.
it. I didn't know really what to expect when we first started watching it. I wanted to watch it,
Mm-hmm.
and then I remember putting it on, and there was just a few things that really threw me. And then she got
I
cranky
didn't realize
at me.
there was singing in it.
Well, no, I didn't realize there was talking animals in it. Was one of the biggest ones.
Yep.
And I was like, why? Why is there a bear delivering a baby? What is happening?
This is why you haven't watched BoJack Horseman. Now, all right. Got it.
But there was a few things
Anti-talking animals.
that threw me off. Don't put me in that category with the wizard.
Yeah, you. Yeah.
There was a few things that like threw me off, and I was just a bit. And I had a few criticisms, and then I got criticised for criticising the movie too much.
We know you don't negative talk Wicked.
Yes, I've learnt.
That's right.
So watched the first one again, made it all the way through this time, didn't fall asleep. Enjoyed it, liked it more than I thought I did the first time. Really quite enjoyed it. I think I gave it like 3.5 out of 5. So
I also rewatched it over the weekend, and it just, I really, really like Wicked.
Yeah.
I loved part 1 and thought that the thing that really got me was how funny the humor is in it. Like, it's this weird, like, over the top, played up. Like, I was laughing so hard at how vapid Galinda is. Like, I just thought Ariana Grande was so good in it. And
she does
that
like
role
a really
is
good
just so great for, like, it's so much fun. There's so many stupid lines, but one line that makes me laugh every time was when she says, "Well, Bok, I always believe that a stranger is just a person I haven't met," and just says it with such sincerity, and you're just like, "Yep, there's that."
Yeah.
Like, that's so funny to me. And yeah, like, that sort of thing is a lot of fun. So that leads me into Wicked for Good, where a lot of that sort of stuff, we're in the more serious half of the story. And a lot of that sort of stuff is pulled out of it.
Yep.
So it knocked it down a tiny little bit compared to the first one for me. Only a tiny bit, because I really liked Wicked for Good. I thought it was pretty damn for good. But I really loved the humor elements, and there wasn't as many of those in the second one. But it was more, a more serious, a darker sort of half of the story. And
really like getting down to business in this second one.
Exactly.
There's a lot in there, I think.
Yep.
So like, where are we treading in terms of who's involved in this movie and things like that?
All right, let's just, for those of you who haven't seen Wicked, the musical, and this is your first experience going in, we're going to urge you to stop listening here, because we'll just talk the story. Now, I'm going to allow it, I reckon, on this one because it's a well-known musical, and a lot of people do know the story. I did not, although elements were spoiled for me by part 1.
Okay.
At the end of part 1, people were like, "Didn't you know this? Didn't you know?" And I'm like, "I did not. No."
Yeah.
Would have been quite the twist.
Yeah.
Twists.
I'm not going to get too into the spoilery stuff, but like obviously, so in part 2, Dorothy is a part of it.
Yeah. So Wicked part 2 takes place, The Wizard of Oz takes place between the start and the end of Act 2.
Yeah, it's like, I think I saw someone say it's briefly before, during, and after Dorothy's,
exactly.
The Wizard of Oz. I do think that it took a long time to get to that arrival.
Yeah.
I was quite surprised. I was like, when is this going to happen?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of sort of setup in that first act.
Probably an hour of the
easily,
2.5
I think,
hour movie before
we get the moments that you're kind of waiting for, and then it sort of starts to tick along a little bit quicker. Not so much that they wrap it up and then you're like, oh, they did that all too quickly. It definitely still plays out reasonably well. I think that
pacing's fine.
That first part, I think, would be the only part for me where I was like, this is what's happening. We're taking a little long to get into it.
And I wonder whether they leaned on a lot of that sort of stuff to maybe beef it out a bit more.
Maybe, yeah.
Whether they needed to. But I also do think there is a lot of establishing stuff that, like, that we see before Dorothy comes along. So, like, a perfect example would be, obviously, we have to re-establish where everybody is. It's been years. The yellow brick road's been built.
Has it been years, though?
I don't, because they never address it.
Because there was something that happened. Oh, God.
They never.
There was one timeline thing in there where I was like, wait, what?
They don't address the timeline at all in either. And I looked it up the other day, and some fans believe it's been months.
Okay.
Some fans believe it's been years.
To me, I would say it feels more like months or so.
Really?
But I'm sure there is something, I remember hearing it when we were watching it. The cub, yes. But then, how long is the difference in the first movie
Well,
from start to finish?
Sorry, what I'm saying is like the whole story plays. Some fans believe that the whole story of Wicked plays out in months.
Okay.
Some fans believe it plays out in about 5 years.
I would say, yeah, years.
And I'm looking at that and saying between the first two movies, it feels like, I would say it's closer to at least a year. It
Yeah.
feels like a long period of time. We've got, her dad's passed away. Nessa is now let's not forget that like when they finish Wicked Part 1, they've like just finished school.
Yeah, true.
There's an implication that they've just finished school. Now, when we start Wicked Part 2, Galinda is essentially a princess. She's got a big job in a fancy corporation working with Bo and Yang and the other one.
Yep.
And, you know, there's a lot of these elements that sort of play into it that say a significant amount of time has passed. You know,
Yeah, that's fair.
did we talk about the dad, Nessa, taking over? Bok has been there looking after Nessa, but then it's been a significant amount of time for him. He's talking about how, okay, cool, it's been a while now.
Yeah,
And
I'm
he had to
trying-
come, and not only that, but they mentioned that he was the only one who came to support her afterwards. So there was obviously some sort of separation in between, that then something happened that he felt he had to go and...
Yeah, and
So-
we've built like you said,
yeah.
the yellow brick road has been built in that time.
Exactly. Like Oz is pretty big.
Yeah.
And they're doing it by mule. They're doing it by mule and yellow bricks.
Yeah.
It's not. That's not a a weekend
Let's do the
project.
maths. I remember they did 3 rows of bricks in about probably 30 seconds. So 3 rows of
Right.
brick.
Yeah. Now accounting for breaks,
Yeah.
mule breaks. We need mule breaks.
True.
Disturbances by the wicked Witch.
Yes, yeah, very true. That definitely disrupted them by a good day or two.
Exactly. At least.
Yeah.
So, like, I would put the whole thing at, like, I would say there's probably at least a year between the end of Act 1 and the start of Act 2.
In terms of the movies 1 and 2. rather
Movies
than-
1 and 2,
yeah.
correct. And then I would say that the course of it all plays out. Like, I could see the course of the thing playing out over months, but I suppose...
Because then how long is The Wizard of Oz technically
Exactly.
play out over?
Exactly.
Because in
That's
this
days.
movie, it does feel really quick. And then I'm
does.
like, that's a lot of ground to cover
Yeah.
for how quick that happened. Whereas in my imagination I haven't seen The Wizard of Oz in a
No.
long time. So like, from my memory and like imagination, I'm like, I'm sure it was days, weeks, because they have to travel. They have
Yeah.
to walk.
Well, they have to walk quite a way and then go and walk somewhere else across the land and
Yeah.
then walk back.
There's
and
a
then
lot of
leave.
back and forth.
Yeah.
And then in this, it feels very... Not
Well, we don't see... The thing is, they don't show... Like, Dorothy's there, but
off
it's,
they go and then they come back.
You never
essentially.
see Dorothy's face, and it's always catching the edge of what's happened with Dorothy.
Yes.
So it feels like that's not the point of the story, which is good.
Yeah. It was an interesting way to go about Dorothy, I think, as well, just to be like, no, we're not going to try and top. We're not going to try and
Yeah.
do anything here. We're just going to show you the back of Dorothy.
Do you think they
and
remake Wizard of Oz now and tell that whole story with the cast?
Potentially. I'm not against it.
I just feel like
It is a very old movie these days. Like
it
when
is.
especially like we were talking about it last night. The spoiler alert: the cub that is our cowardly lion, and we were talking about it. And then I said, in The Wizard of Oz, it is a man dressed as a lion.
Yeah.
And it's it's
CGI
very different
CGI
compared
in
to
this.
the lion we've got in
Coleman
this.
Domingo voicing a CGI lion.
Yeah. So there's things like that that I
Yes.
feel like it could be very interesting if they redid it.
It's one of those ones, it's like such a classic where it's like, do you remake it?
Yeah.
But I feel like it's inevitable. And because I feel like it's inevitable, I feel like it's the time to do it.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I feel
It would be nice
part
to
of the
sort
reason,
of
part
bow
of the,
tie it all and fit it all into like
exactly.
a
And
universe.
part of the reason I feel is that like you've got these elements that you can do. You can pull the Tin Man, you can pull the Straw Man in, the Scarecrow in. You can do the CGI lion, and you can have Dorothy, and you can have the Wicked Witch and Glinda, and everything sort of ties in together well. you've got some of the footage already from a different angle, so you can recreate it while everything is still sort of fresh. And not only that, but Wicked Part 1 was such a phenomenon, and then you've got Wicked Part 2, and it's such a phenomenon. But then if we talk about it really, it's only been in like a bubble of 18 months.
It's been a very short amount of time.
It's like, you think about it, like, I sort of felt weird watching the finale last night, knowing that that was the end of Wicked, but this feels like a big franchise.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's sort of like if, Harry Potter ended with the Chamber of Secrets, and like that came out 12 months after, and then it's like massive, massive, massive.
Yeah.
Everyone's talking about this thing, and then the Chamber of Secrets is the last part.
It did somewhat feel underwhelming in that respect.
Yeah.
Of like,
it's just because it's been such a cultural thing.
yes, it got so big with Part 1, and then For Good coming out and
Was
sort of-
always on the way. So,
yeah, and so it was like, oh, it's something to look forward. And now that it's here, you go, oh, we're
that's
done.
over. Yeah. And like it feels weird that like Wicked's over. But if they were to turn around and announce, all right, well, now we're remaking The Wizard of Oz, same cast, same everything. That's what we're working on.
And it would, like I said, it would be great to tie it all together with a neat little bow. And
bring that out.
Looks
It
the
comes
same,
out
it
in
all-
It comes out in 2 years, 3 years, something like that. You've got something to look forward to, and it extends that franchise life by that little bit extra. Instead of being an 18-month period, it's a 5-year period.
Yeah.
And then that is in the bubble. That's the time capsule there.
Is Oz the Great and Powerful part of this universe?
Oh, wow.
Where does that fit in?
I don't know. I never saw it. Is that the James Franco one?
yeah.
Where James Franco is the wizard?
Yes. It's essentially the story, his origin story of him coming to Oz.
Give me young Jeff Goldblum.
I mean, don't give me young Jeff Goldblum. I did not like the de-aging.
Yeah.
Very brief.
Very weird.
We are in spoiler territory, but like very brief, and I was like, I'm glad that was brief.
Yes.
It was a bit weird.
Yeah. Let's talk Jeff Goldblum as the wizard. I said this to my wife watching the first one, and I felt it again watching For Good. I don't think anybody gave Jeff Goldblum any lines.
Yeah, he's not. I was
just
gonna
his
say, like,
delivery. He just like, I know he's singing a song that is written, but his delivery always just feels like he's just oh yes, and
in the script it just says
Yellow
Jeff
brick,
Goldblum mumbles.
Yeah, exactly. yes. Oh, yes.
It did.
Oh, Alpha Throp. Oh, you're here. Oh,
I want to say that I loved him in it.
I do. I do. I love him. I love him so much. I love him in it. I just don't think he got any lines. I feel like they
Yes,
said
this is what I mean.
Jeff Goldblum maybe talks about this.
Yeah.
Mention Emerald City. Mention animals. And
Mention
then-
you love green.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
It's, yeah, and that's what I mean by I wanted to love him in it more because I feel like he wasn't in it as much as I would have thought he should be.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, it feels like he didn't get much
But
to
then
say
he's-
and much to do a lot of the time.
Yes, but then his presence is so felt throughout
It
both
does, yeah.
movies. Like,
As soon as he walks in, you're like, oh, geez.
yes. And his presence really is felt across both movies. Like, obviously it's the Wizard of Oz. He is the wizard. Like, it plays into it so much. But it just, every time I watch, and this is just what's the beauty of Jeff Goldblum acting is, it never feels like he's acting. It just feels like it's just like he is the exact same person off screen as on screen.
Yeah.
And, anything that he said in Wizard of Oz, I could imagine him just saying.
Just, yeah. That is just Jeff Goldblum dialogue.
Exactly.
Like, yeah. But yeah, no, there was a lot to like in part 2, I think. There's
Some of the songs weren't, like, I think we were discussing this briefly off air, but Defying Gravity, Popular, these songs were so big in the general zeitgeist that when
even
Wicked came
before the
around,
movie came out. Like,
that the movie comes out and people like us who haven't seen it go, that's what that's from. You know the songs regardless. There is less of those in part 2. However, in the theatre community, some of the favourite songs are in part 2. Now, I will say No Good Deed Goes Unpunished is well enough known, at least on my end. And For Good, I think that's the name of the song, but the main sort of song in this one, they were well enough known from me. And there were a couple of moments that I was like, oh yeah, I know this song, I know this song. And reprises. You know, there's there's enough reprises in this one that you sort of everything feels familiar.
I wondered if we were going to get a Defying Gravity reprise at the end.
Okay.
Like,
Because it's so big?
Yeah, I wondered if they were going to sort of add that in.
I wonder if they knew it was going to be as big when they wrote the musical, though.
Probably not. Yeah, probably not. I mean, surely whoever was writing that was just like,
it's the act
pen
one
on
finishing,
fire. Like, this is
meme
great.
of the piano on fire on the beach.
Yeah. But to a certain extent, yes, they wouldn't have known that particular song is going to take off and be a phenomenon on its own. But I said to you, I definitely think part 2 had the weaker songs for me as a general sort of, I guess, fair weather fan of musicals.
Yeah.
Some musicals I love, some I'm just like, nah, not for me. So I would have said that these songs are on the weaker side compared to the first one.
But then do you also feel like there's an element of, there's been 12 months of them being in the general zeitgeist even further because Wicked's so popular that now you go into them and you're like, but I know all those other songs. And having rewatched the film again recently, you're like, well, yeah, part 1, I know all the songs, or I know the majority of the songs because they have been so, you know, to excuse the pun, popular.
Yeah.
That now you go into this and it's all fresh and you're just like, I don't know if this is the case.
Potentially, yeah. And I think there's a couple of songs I really enjoyed for good. I thought that was great. There was 1 or 2 other ones in there that I quite liked, but none of them feel quite as like hook-y as Popular and Defying Gravity. I think those, they just have that big real hook that, yeah. I can't see, also this is something that I guess gets brought into movie chat these days, is I can't see many of the songs from part 2 being used as viral audio for TikToks and Instagram and things like that, because Popular and Defying Gravity were huge. What?
I'm just giving this look to the camera because I guarantee if I whip out my phone right now,
I like
every one of these songs is trending. I'm telling you,
But there's a difference between like just trending.
If Jeff Bezos by Bo Burnham can be the #1 trending sound on TikTok, anything can.
True, but no doubt, and I wholeheartedly believe that yes, most of them will probably be trending to an extent, but not like they were with Defying Gravity and Popular. I don't think they're as memeable either. The songs in this, which is I hate saying that.
I don't know that. I just don't feel like I agree with you at all. I think that again, they were so big, and they were like TikTok added to that. But I'm telling you, like the campaign that Universal is putting behind this, I mean, it's going to obviously benefit them to have those songs come back into the zeitgeist as well. But I guarantee every single one, or whatever, if they. Like I can straight away go, because I've known you, I've been changed for good. 100%, that's going to get some like weird soppy, you know, and I can think of it now, and it's going to be hold me to this. I'm going to do a video, and it's just going to be me standing, looking at a cinema screen, and being like, I have been changed for good, and there's my viral video. You know, it's
fair.
There you go.
Yeah.
You know, so that's out. We'll have to sit in here and just be like, it's just going to cut between us up here.
Yep.
But there'll be, I guarantee they'll have the freshest influencer minds right now working on how they can turn these songs into memes.
True.
To do the same thing. I mean, we'll come back next week and it'll be like, have you seen how many wicked videos?
I'll just be eating my words entirely.
Exactly. But I just see that happening. There is one thing I do want to talk about. There is this song, don't know the name of the song. It's a Galinda solo, and it's the one with the mirrors. Now, I want to mention
that
this.
scene
I want to mention this because I was just obsessed with it. I loved it. The camera work. They just did this weird thing where like every time you think you're looking at Galinda and then it like slightly pans and then it's actually a mirror and you're looking at her in the mirror. But then it's but then they ran the entire thing like a Moana. So like,
have you seen the very famous mirror shot. I think the movie might be called Contact.
No.
It's got a young Jenna Malone, I believe, and she's running up the staircase. She runs towards the camera, and then as she gets to camera, she pulls the door of a mirror and opens it. And it's that whole thing. So you've been watching through the mirror all the time. It is not, I believe it's not done all in camera. It is a bit of practical and stuff like that because it's almost like a tracking shot at first. But it's done extremely well, extremely famous shot that has been talked about endlessly. And it feels like they watched that and they were like, hold my beer.
Let's do it 5 times. Because it keeps happening.
Yeah.
It just happens like 3 or 4 times, and you just like each time I'm like, my brain just can't fathom the fact that
One
like
point we were upside down. It was just
we're looking at the stairs, and then like they just go and reveal. Oh, you're actually looking at a mirror, but we're still coming back off that one tracking shot. Like
you thought you were done with another mirror.
They're moving through. Like I don't know how they did it. I would love to see a behind-the-scenes feature of how they structured that scene, because, as I said, there wasn't like any obvious moments for cutting that made sense to me.
I can't remember who shot this. I want to say it was Mandy Walker, but I don't know. The DP. I can't remember now. I have a feeling it could have been her. If it's not, I'm sorry.
Yep, we're losing it.
But she's Australian, is what I was going to say.
That's cool.
That's cool. But they did a great job. The movie looks great.
They really captured the aesthetic well. I remember watching Wicked Part 1 again the other day and just going, I'm glad that they won the Oscar for costume in this. Because it's
costume
the aesthetic is like so nailed in the costume. There was a moment when they get to the Emerald City, which is where I had that thought, because everything looks just phenomenal. Everything's so played up.
Costume and production design are just...
You know that green train they built practically?
Yeah.
So
the
cool.
tulips?
Yeah.
They planted a field of tulips, like thousands of them.
Do you know, and we're getting back onto the Zack Snyder discussion here, but did you know that the concept for Interstellar and planting all of the
cornfield,
the cornfield came from Zack Snyder having done that for Man of Steel?
Yeah, I do.
And then mentioning it to Nolan, and Nolan's like, why don't I just do that? And then just grow a bunch of corn.
Zack Snyder is the blueprint.
Blueprint moment. And now, and then he probably went up to John M. Chu and he was like, tulips, plant all the tulips.
I think he also did a wheat field for
Rebel Moon. Yeah. Yep, he did.
Zack Snyder's just outside of LA
doing like, just farming.
Yeah, he's just farming.
He's just making films to farm.
Yep.
Aura and regular farming.
Yes, yeah. I was going to say we've got to slip aura farming in there somewhere.
We're youthful.
We're hip and with it.
That's a reference.
I thought you were going to go 6'7".
No, don't pull that one. Come on, all right.
Okay.
I was pulling the, I'm hip, I'm with it, the Macarena reference from Austin Powers.
Yes.
A reference that's quite old.
Oh, geez.
Oh, God. Anyway.
We need Austin Powers. Austin Powers 4, come on.
Apparently they were working
on it.
Oh,
I know. I think it was like a good decade ago they said they were working on it as well.
I don't know.
I would love to see it, but...
Austin Powers 4, make it happen. But Wicked for Good, yeah. Honestly, loved it. Thought it was slightly not as good as Part 1, but as a whole, I think if we looked at the whole thing, I don't think the stuff that I disliked, it's not even stuff I disliked. It was just missing stuff that I really liked in the first one.
Yeah, it just didn't
because of the way that the story flowed.
Yeah.
If I look at the whole thing as a whole, I don't think that's knocking it down. If I was to rate both stories as a whole, it's probably over 4 stars still.
Yeah, okay. I think I'd probably put it around a 3 for this one. I did like 3.5 for the first. So only like, again, sort of slightly knocked back. I do like some of the way they did those like action sequences and revealed things and whatnot. There's like the fight between Dorothy and the Wicked Witch that you just see in shadow, which is cool. I was like,
the fight between Elphaba and Galinda was great, by the way, and also the reveal of the evil laugh, and then Galinda making fun of it and just really, where did you get that?
That was great.
That was so much fun.
Yeah, that was perfect.
Honestly, a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, lots of fun. The other thing too, this is real spoiler territory. I was for sure towards the end of the film, I was like, they haven't figured out how to do the Scarecrow. Obviously, not
Yeah.
knowing the story.
Yep.
Someone who knows the story is probably
Yeah.
like, yeah, I know what's coming. But for me, I was like, they couldn't figure it
I
out.
was waiting, and it was frustrating me as
Yeah.
well because I'm like,
Well,
we've
there was
seen
a-
the Tin Man.
you
and
saw
then you're
him in one of the
seeing him,
small
and
shots
I'm like, are you
walking.
seriously going to just give us the wide shot from a distance where we're not seeing what he's
That was
the whole
CGI
movie?
terribly for the
Yes.
straw man as well. For what do you call him? Scarecrow.
Yeah, of him the walking.
The walking looked horrific in that really
Oh, well,
wide
that's
shot.
That's what he's supposed to look like.
Oh, it was a bit weird.
Yeah,
I looked at it and I was like, that's
Where
not-
he's like, but you see him like not being able to stand and
Yeah, it wasn't that. The
Mm.
really wide shot where I think it had like Oz in the background and then there was the brick road and they were
Yeah.
like tiny
Yeah,
walking
yeah.
along. He was doing a real weird walk and it wasn't like a stumbling walk. It was like someone didn't know anatomy type of walk.
right. Okay,
His
so I'm
legs
gonna pop my
moved
head.
kind of
I'm
like
gonna figure
weirdly.
out where that scene is. Pop my head into Wicked and look at.
I just remember seeing it and that's where I went, they haven't figured out how to do him.
I watched
obviously.
Wizard of Oz on stage. As we know, we had some of our friends, or some of my friends, who came down to the premiere in character and got to, get photos with people as you posted, and he was really flailing on stage, like really like all over. So it'd be interesting to see because I felt it was totally natural.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
It
not
was
natural.
just in
it
that
was
one
just-
shot where that one
Okay.
little shot where I was like, it didn't look right. And it may have been that they were like, oh, we need to make it look like he's flailing about. But at that distance, you just didn't have to because you could barely make out that any of them were walking as it was. Like it was,
Yeah.
they were like this big on the
Yep.
screen. Like
It was the same as part one where you see him from behind and it's the
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
so that's Wicked Wicked for good. Let's move on to the next film. This was one I was quite excited about that I feel like is going to get squashed in the hype of
It's
Wicked.
coming up against Wicked.
Is Jay Kelly, Adam Sandler and George Clooney's new one with Laura Dern, Billy Crudup, Patrick Wilson was in it, Isla Fisher was in it.
Yeah.
Like,
Good if you.
cool.
Greta Gerwig was in it.
Greta Gerwig was in it, and it was directed by Noah Baumbach. Is that his name?
Yeah.
Noah Baumbach.
And that
so
is-
Greta Gerwig's husband, who also co-wrote Barbie, he wrote Marriage Story.
I think you directed Marriage Story. as
Directed
well,
Marriage
yeah.
Story, and obviously wrote and directed this. So it is the story of Jay Kelly, who is a famous actor who has been acting for 35 years. Is played by George Clooney, and his manager, PR people, all of that, and him having just finished a movie. That opening scene with the movie,
Yeah, that was great. There's a
fantastic.
great one-er that just starts it off, and it's
On the last
probably
day
a
of
couple minutes.
Yeah, on the last day of set.
Yeah, and it comes down just to his sort of final shot, and like the reset, everything just looked great. I really liked that sort of fourth wall break of that.
Yeah.
Or it wasn't even a fourth wall break, really. It's
It was a fourth wall break if you think of the camera
yeah,
that we weren't watching as the fourth wall.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was very cool. And like, honestly, these sorts of stories are difficult in a good way for me to watch. Obviously being a creative person myself and putting a lot of effort and time into creativity, and I'm sure you feel the same. It is very hard to sort of balance your own personal goals, aspirations, all of that sort of, and I'm sure there are elements of it for everyone in every
Oh, yeah.
sense, but particularly when it is played out in some sort of creative element.
I think as
when-
creatives, we give so much of ourselves to
The product or
whatever
whatever
our
we're
craft
doing,
as well.
yeah.
So like we're taking a good chunk of ourselves out
Yeah.
and putting it onto page or into songs or into
Yeah.
films and things like that. So then, yeah, when you're
And then
watching,
you watch something like this where then it's like, oh, and how that has affected him as a parent and how it's affected
Yeah.
his children. It is really hard and difficult to watch because it has you questioning yourself. And,
Yeah.
obviously the idea is that it's been 35 years and he's loved by people all over the world. But, he's missed time with his daughters growing up and he was never around and, they resent him for that, and he's had marriages that failed and friends that no longer want to be friends with him or blame him for their life because it's not what his life is, and things like that. And,
Essentially, he is, like you said, surrounded by everyone, but is lonely.
it's quite a funny, and it's George Clooney and Adam Sandler. It's designed to be a funny film. I saw that it's actually registered as a coming of age film, which didn't.
I can see that.
It is a coming of age film, but not in the coming of age type of films that we know, because
what
it's
we
coming
used to,
of age, not, the sort of teenage years.
Yes, yeah.
But I did really like that they showcased a lot of, the whole sort of thing is him reliving and remembering these sequences that happened throughout his life.
It reminded me in those scenes a little bit of A Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey.
Yeah,
Less
good.
fantastical,
Yeah.
but same sort of deal of like all of a sudden you were thrust back into
These moments.
These
He
moments.
was remembering them, but we were seeing him standing in the room, remembering what had happened.
He didn't have a ghost of future past with him or anything like that.
Yeah,
so.
no, exactly. But there were just these things, and he was just sort of stating, I just keep remembering these moments from my life and these things that played into it and all that sort of stuff. And, I thought there was a lot of really interesting choices and a lot of really good stuff from George Clooney. I liked the kid who played young George Clooney too. He was quite good. I thought it was quite a good film. Like, as we said, there was a lot of stuff that probably could have been cut.
It feels a little long,
but I don't necessarily. I don't think it affected the pacing. It's just like it's a long film.
It moves along, and it's a little bit like a travel film as well. Like you're off on a journey, so it's sort of there's always something to sort of keep ticking along with.
Yeah.
It reminded me also a little bit of Jesse Eisenberg's film A Real Pain.
Real Pain.
In that sense of like, hey, we're on a Euro trip going through Europe on a train.
Did it remind you at all of Euro Trip?
Miss Scusi. We needed that scene in there, obviously.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, we did get a couple of Miss Scusies, but
I enjoyed it. I wouldn't say I was disappointed because I didn't really know what to expect. I'd seen the trailer and I was like, I'm interested. I love George Clooney. I love Adam Sandler.
It was far more an art housey film than maybe a blockbuster. So it's an interesting choice for them to make this one of the ones, particularly against Wicked, to put on the big screen. But I was happy that we got to see it this way. I really enjoyed what they did with it, and I think for the right crowd, this will be a phenomenal film. And against Wicked, for the 35s and under, maybe it's not going to be the best choice. But I feel like people who maybe, like the whole thing is about like celebrating Jay Kelly's career, and I think if you look at it from a perspective of George Clooney's career, the people who grew up watching George Clooney, who will go, oh, okay, I'm going to go watch this film. Like, I think they'll really appreciate.
Yeah, I think for that slightly older audience are going to really gravitate towards it and really love it.
Like 55 plus, who maybe have seen George Clooney since he was in his 20s.
Because essentially,
that's what the
change
story
the
is.
name
It's changed the name and it's
I mean, not to say what George Clooney's personal life is actually like, but yeah, it's a movie star
in terms of
playing
career.
a movie star. So it is sort of real life imitating art and all that sort of stuff. Adam Sandler I thought was great. Adam Sandler, we were talking about this earlier. When Adam Sandler acts, he can act.
Yeah.
He can act. And I hate when people are like, oh, Adam Sandler's such a terrible actor. I'm like, he is not a terrible actor.
No.
He's been nominated for Oscars. Like,
it's crazy to
the
think,
dude is
he's good.
He's a better actor than a lot of other people.
What did he
that
say
are big in
after?
Hollywood.
He's gone back on his word. But when he did Uncut Gems, and he said, "If I don't get an Oscar for this, I'm going to go make like."
Or maybe it was he didn't
make,
get nominated. I think he got snubbed for Uncut Gems, but he got the Golden Globe.
Yeah,
and it was, if I don't get nominated for the Oscar, I'll go back to making stupid films.
He said something like, "I'm going to go make like 15 bad guys." Grown-ups. Twos or something.
Something like that. And then he made Hubie's Halloween.
Yeah, which I think we've spoken about on the podcast before, and still hilarious.
But yeah, no, anytime I see Adam Sandler doing like a real role, not to take away from his other stuff, but...
he plays that manager role really well.
He does.
Yeah.
Now that you say it, yeah. Anytime I see that, I'm so on board. I've loved Adam Sandler since I was a kid. I think he's great. And then when I get to see him as an adult playing one of these like more adult type of characters, I'm like, this is
And
great too.
it doesn't mean that he's not funny in the role either.
Oh, yeah.
It's just he's not like Adam Sandler over the top style funny.
He's not doing the like, "Shalaby."
Yeah, exactly.
It's none of that. It's just more like,
yeah.
"Shalaby."
Yeah, exactly. It's played up well, but yeah, no, I thought he was really good in the role too. I like him as a manager. I really liked him in Hustle as well.
Great.
So yeah, he does a good job, and he's sort of like a lot of the heart of the movie too.
Yeah.
In that sense that he's
Well, he is kind of living the same story in a sense because
Exactly.
he is missing out on some of his family life
Yep.
to take care of this other lonely person.
and other stuff that we won't spoil, but like it's shows how it's affected his life overall, going back 20 years.
Yes, exactly. But great performance from everyone. Laura Dern's great in it.
She's great.
She's always great, but she just anytime she's on screen, she just takes over.
Yeah.
And her playing a sort of like frantic PR person, perfect. Great
So
casting.
good. Yeah.
There, like you said, there was lots of different people that are just sort of peppered in there throughout as well.
Yeah, it sort of felt like, interestingly, it felt like The Running Man to me, where it was like, you're moving from here's the one person who is the main point, and then we're going to go from here to here to here, where each moment there's like a different person who they're interacting
cameo we're
with.
gonna
It's
throw in
sort
there.
of like that, where
Yeah.
it sort of felt like, cool, this person only had to work for a day. To be in this film,
Yeah.
they only had a very small role, but it was just sort of like everything's moving around. Jay Kelly,
Yeah.
which was it was cool. So
Yeah, it
I
was-
really liked it. It's one obviously we've got in the cinema, at least for this week. Next week we've got
Is it Wake Up Dead Man next
Wake
week?
Up Dead Man
Oh.
and Zootopia 2. So
Oh, jeez.
yeah, we're gonna have to maybe do another 2 films.
Yeah, okay.
And fit that in. But Wake Up Dead Man is next week, so there's another Netflix film. But
So keen for Wake Up Dead Man.
Yeah.
I saw another trailer for it the other day, and I was like, "Do I want to watch this? Do I?"
Yeah.
And I did watch it.
I didn't.
I did. That didn't give away anything. Ryan Johnson is great at not doing that. It just looks so beautifully shot as well. Like it's just. And talking about Jay Kelly as well, this was beautifully shot.
It
too.
was
There was
really
some really
beautiful.
gorgeous stuff
Yeah.
in this.
There was a lot of really nice scenes that I even said to you at some point, like, "Oh, geez, how nice is that shot?" Like,
Yeah. I'm not sure who shot it, but it was. I want to say it was shot on film.
It looked like it.
Looked quite film. I felt like I looked up who shot it, and I can't remember.
Netflix are using like red cameras and stuff now.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't shot
Like, they've
film
got-
because they have a Netflix approved list, and
Yeah.
it has to all be over like 4K and stuff. I don't know if they allow film cameras on that. Now that you mention it.
But then if they did, it would suddenly make me think, I understand why this was the one that they chose to put on the big screen.
Yeah.
But again, it feels
I'm
like
pretty sure Frankenstein that was digital.
I think
I believe.
part of the reason is I could see this getting into the discussion for nominations.
I
in
wouldn't be
some
surprised
respect.
if we see
So
some
I
nominations
feel
for
like
this, yeah.
the cinema run for this is because it is that sort of art house showcase
They
type
kinda-
film
it's
that
ticking the box so that we can get nominated.
exactly,
for Oscars, yeah.
exactly. It's like we'll put it in the cinema. It's maybe not a film that's going to do massive numbers. It's not a blockbuster by any means, but we've got a solid cast. It's a strong story.
I could maybe see a nomination for George. for
Yeah.
Clooney.
I also think like a nomination for George in that sense would be good in just for the sake
Kind
of
of
like,
one of those lifetime achievement.
it's a
type
lifetime
of-
achievement.
Yeah.
It's that. It's that.
and it could
Adam
run,
Sandler as well, honestly.
Well, yeah. He could get in for supporting on this. It's a very his performance in this is very understated compared to something like Uncut Gems.
Yeah,
which,
but I
like-
think there's a lot of like emotion. There's a lot
Oh,
of emotional
yeah.
moments, and I think that even towards the end scene of the film, you do see from both of them a lot of real like silent emotion that I think could be enough to carry them through to at least a nomination.
Yeah, definitely.
I would be very surprised if this wasn't in the discussion.
Yeah, I think that we'll see something from it. I don't know if it's going to be a Best Picture contender. Not for me.
No, I
think.
don't see it as I don't see it as a Best Picture contender.
I could see it. In
I
fairness, I could see it being in the like Have they brought that back down, or was it like 10 films or something at one point?
It was 10 films.
Yeah, I
It's
could
10
see them
films.
it being in there and being one of the movies where everyone's going, why did that make it in and not this?
Yeah,
'Cause-
but then, you know, it'll be like a Barbie situation where it's like, how come Barbie got a nomination and this real film did? Like, it's
Yeah.
like, it's going to be some sort of like mixed bag sort of thing there. But I could see it getting, like, there's a lot of other things I could see it getting. I don't think Best Picture is it, but I do think that supporting role,
Yeah.
lead actor, whether or not they win, I mean, there's a lot of good stuff coming out this year. But at the same time, like, off the top of my head, can I think of anything that... I
think Frankenstein's going to be a big one in the conversation.
Yeah, and we haven't seen Wake Up Dead Man yet. And
We
like,
have not.
You know, Daniel Craig deserves.
And we've just talked
everything.
about 3 Netflix movies, so
Exactly,
there's a
exactly.
lot
So-
more to get there that
So,
could be in the
you know,
discussion.
but there's obviously the reason that those 3 Netflix movies were put on the big screen.
Yes, yeah,
So-
yeah, most definitely. Maybe we'll have to do a special cinema Oscar podcast.
Yeah,
Oscar predictions. Oscar.
So I would actually love to do that because we show the Oscars movies every year. We get all the Best Picture nominations.
Yep.
And I make an effort to try and watch as many of them as I can every year.
Same.
But we often get every one of them just before the Oscars, and we do a mystery movie the night of, and then whatever the movie is, we run that.
Yeah,
So
cool.
the night, whatever the Best Picture winner is,
Yep.
we run that. So,
You just gave away the mystery.
well, they know that it's the Best Picture winner.
Fair.
But yeah,
I thought you
so
meant it was one of the like.
No.
I
We
gotcha.
do like it's like we don't know what the film is until they
Until-
announce it, and then
yeah.
we go, quick, load it in. We gotta make sure that it's ready to go. But we have to have all.
We haven't
10
got
of
the distribution for that.
Yeah, so we have to have all 10 of the films ready to go, and then like when they announce it at like 12 o'clock or
Yeah,
11
yeah.
o'clock or 2 o'clock or whatever it is, and then we've got it going in at 6.
Yep.
That's the
Yeah,
thing.
cool.
So yeah, so that's interesting. But we'll definitely discuss Oscars later in the year, and we might even like. We will probably have to take a season break leading into December. Anyway, because obviously we've got Christmas, a couple of weeks off, that sort of thing, and it's probably going to lend itself perfectly because we could do a final episode, Oscar breakdown, Oscar thoughts, based on what
yeah,
we've
true.
seen.
When's Avatar?
18th.
Of December. Okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember if it was Boxing Day. What's Boxing Day this year?
Anaconda, Housemaid, SpongeBob, Rental
Anaconda.
Family.
Oh,
Anaconda.
jeez.
Yeah.
Everything. Okay.
Yep. Song Sung Blue, January 1st.
Yep.
Christie, January 8th. Grand Prix of Europe, January 8th. So we've got a few. But we could come back to it January and start season 2,
Season 2.
2026. The 2026 season. But that's where we're at. So I think we do an Oscars box office
Yeah.
episode and end of
Maybe do a little
top
predictions or
5,
something.
little top 5
Yeah.
episode. Maybe we do a bonus top 5 episode after we've seen Avatar.
Or top 10. Top 5's so hard to do. I struggle to do 10. I'm usually like top 20.
Top 20, yeah. I do my Letterboxd top 12 every year.
Oh, okay.
You know, because you could fit the 3 lines in. I was thinking about that earlier. I better start working on that.
I've been adding some to my list all year, but I may still add some more and kick some.
Well,
out.
I go through and then I go, what are the new films I've seen this year? And then add them to a list. And then I sort them by.
Generally, if I see
rating.
something and I'm like, I loved that, it'll go into that folder for now, and then
Yeah.
I'll like sort of go back
Exactly.
and think about it again and be like, I actually really enjoyed that the more I've thought about it, and yeah.
So that's what we've got upcoming. Expect an Oscars episode. Expect a top 12 of the year episode. Expect a box office episode, as well as our usual week to week.
Yeah.
So they're coming. We will have them ready to go for you before the year's out. Obviously, we're getting into the end of November now.
Do we have many Christmas movies coming out this year? I love a good Christmas movie.
Well, we're showing 24 retro films, Christmas
Ooh.
retros. I don't know if there's a lot of like new Christmas movies coming out.
Damn.
There's a movie coming out I want you to look up called Eternity. Have you seen the trailer for this?
This is the A24 one with
Yeah.
Miles Teller,
Miles Teller.
Elizabeth Olsen,
And someone else.
Yeah, Callum, someone I think his name is.
Turner.
Yes. Yes, I have seen this. Very interesting.
Looks very good.
hopefully good. I can't remember
Doesn't
who's doing it.
necessarily feel like it's a Christmas movie. Well, it's not a Christmas movie.
Not at all.
But it feels like that sort of movie that would come out around Christmas. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like that
sort of
feel good,
heartwarming,
heartfelt.
yeah.
Anyway, that's something to look up.
Yeah.
We're going to call it here, though. That's the end of the episode. We've rambled on for a fair bit today. We've spoken Wicked, we've spoken J. Kelly, we've spoken Warner Brothers, we've spoken about Moana, we've spoken about why Aladdin rules. I've spoken about why Aladdin rules. But remember, when you come to the movies, there are no bad seats. Thank you for being here.